And streaming on crossroadstoday.com as Kerrville begins to recover after devastating floods. Support from Victoria arrives. We'll share how they're helping. And the federal chairman Jerome Powell now speaks out after allegations as his position is threatened. Plus, one Crossroads community gathers to celebrate getting into good trouble while honoring a late congressman.
And Tropical Invest 93L has officially made landfall in Louisiana. It's going to bring us in the Crossroads maybe some light rain chances this weekend before the July summer heat. It's going to ramp up. We'll have all that in the weather coming up.
And Victoria General's vowed the Canyon Cane Cutters for All-Time Awareness Night at Riverside. I'll provide you the highlights later on in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and happy Friday. You know, Parker, a nice baseball game sounds like a lot of fun.
You know, a baseball game would sound like a lot of fun. It is baseball season after all, and I think the World Series is eventually coming up soon.
And the Victoria Generals are playing tonight, it seems like. They're always a good time, and Riverside Stadium is a lot of fun, but I know it's going to be hot.
It is. So if y'all are going to be heading to the baseball game or you're going to be heading out of the house this weekend, make sure that y'all are packing some extra water bottles and staying hydrated and cool. Sit in front of that fan if you have to, because it's going to be a little bit hot. We'll look at that later because we're already warm this morning. 77 is what we're starting at for the temperature in Victoria. Dew points at 76, bringing that humidity quite high, 96%. And if you combine that with our very light to calm winds out there all around the Crossroads this morning, that is enough to maybe see. It's just enough to see maybe a little bit of light patchy fog around the area. So just be careful if you see any of that on the roads this morning. You can see visibility map not really picking up too much on that, but I think it might be a little bit more patchy than what's that showing. So just be careful. Also looking at radar, we do have just a few sprinkles happening right around Goliad. Also in southern Victoria County, we did have one moderate shower earlier. That's kind of died down. And if we look where it's really raining, you just saw right over there west of the screen, right over east of Houston. It is still raining all over Louisiana with the Tropical Invest. And look at the rainfall totals, y'all. They got up to, actually, this is incorrect. We actually got up to about 10, 11 inches in some parts of Louisiana, and they still have a flood watch in effect. So it's going to be a rough day for them. Also slightly rough for us because it is going to be hot, a little humid, and some spotty shower chances today. We'll have those details coming up next.
Kerrville residents are picking up the pieces after the recent devastating floods, and support continues to pour in from across the state and beyond. The death toll from the floods has risen to at least 135 after an additional death was reported in Travis County. 25 News Now weekend anchor Amaya Norman spoke to those offering their support.
It's been nearly 2 weeks since devastating floodwaters tore through Kerrville, Texas, but the heartbreak and the damage are still fresh. The rushing waters was so strong it left entire neighborhoods unrecognizable. Homes completely wiped off the foundation, cars tossed and pushed blocks away. It's a scene survivors say feels like something out of a nightmare. At Guadalupe Park, 160 white crosses stand in silence, each one representing a life lost across the region. A community still mourning, while also trying to rebuild.
We decided to come out as an organization really to represent the communities that we serve. Obviously, there was a horrendous tragedy in this community, and it was, in our best interest, and obviously, something that we wanted to do to come out and serve the community.
Organizations from across the country have traveled to Kerrville. They're not just helping the residents, but also the first responders who are still working around the clock. Water, snacks, meals, whatever is needed to provide.
Homeowners, we talk to first responders, we talk to other emotional care officers, and they talk to us. We're all kind of leaning on each other, but we're trying to build that bridge between the loss and what God can do in the midst of that loss.
The mission now has shifted from search and rescue to cleanup and recovery. And while the floodwaters may have receded, the road to healing is just a beginning. Amaya Norman, KAVU TV, 25 News Now.
Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell is responding to critics who accuse him of mismanaging the Fed's budget. President Donald Trump has threatened to fire Powell for months, wanting to lower interest rates, but cannot remove him without cause. Last week, Powell faced accusations of ignoring government oversight in the Fed's ongoing $2.5 billion headquarters renovation. On Thursday, Powell stated the renovation and its financing have always been carefully overseen by the central bank's board and watchdog. And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code on your screen to take part. We want to know, should Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell resign? All right, let's take a look. 37% of you say yes and 63% of you say no. Come to crossroadstoday.com/vote to take part in our viewer poll. The Crossroads community joined thousands nationwide to honor the late Congressman John Lewis, a civil rights icon known for standing up, speaking out, and famously getting into good trouble. Organized by the local Democratic Party, the event reflected on the past and emphasized the future with the message that your vote matters. Guest speakers shared stories of Lewis's lifelong fight for civil rights, voting access, and equal justice, urging attendees to continue the fight locally.
Got a lot of information up there about John Lewis, so maybe people who are younger and don't know all of the things that he did to make sure that everybody got a great education, that everybody could vote, all the things that he did. So a lot of it is education. A lot of it is getting to meet other people who feel the same way that you do.
After the rally, the crowd marched through downtown in peaceful solidarity, the power of community, something organizers say Lewis believed in deeply. A group of company dancers from Ledwig Dance Academy in Victoria are training in the studio, or they're trading in the studio mirrors for a little Disney magic. 23 girls are headed to Disney World in Orlando, Florida, where they'll train with a Disney dance professional in a private workshop. But it's not all behind the scenes. These girls have been learning and rehearsing all summer to perform 7 high-energy routines on a public stage at Disney Springs. For some of the dancers, this will be a first, and for others, they've had a similar experience 2 years ago.
And it will be my first time dancing on the Disney Springs stage. I'm excited and a little bit scared because random people are gonna be watching me.
It's so fun. The workshop is my favorite part of going to Disney. I love learning from someone that I would never have the opportunity to learn from otherwise. It's really incredible that we get this opportunity. It's so fun.
The dancers will attend the workshop next Thursday and perform at Disney Springs next Friday. Remember, follow us on YouTube, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click that notification bell. The time now, let's get a look at our clock up here at 6:38 on our Friday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. Victoria students face a big change as their university joins a new system, but some things are staying the same.
President Trump takes a victory lap in cutting $9 billion in approved federal funding. I'm Nicole D'Antonio in Washington with details on the cuts.
And also coming up next after the break, in the short-term forecast, like you heard me say earlier, it'll be mostly sunny across most of Texas and a little bit hot. But for us, we have rain chances. So coming up next, I'll tell you when I think the rain might be here. Well, good morning, Crossroads, and happy Friday. It's weekend time, y'all. Get excited for the weekend, but maybe take that with a grain of salt because it's going to be a little bit hot. Like I said, looking at your satellite this morning, you're going to see, if you look at the big picture, you can see all the clouds are moving in a big clockwise kind of fashion, kind of motion right now. That's because of the big, gigantic high pressure system that is over all of the southeastern United States. But that would have been building more if this tropical system didn't form. And it will be building as we go into next week. But we're going to look at that here in a second because most of Texas is going to be mostly sunny today. You can see lots of 90s and even 100s across the state. But down here in south and southeast Texas, we are going to have a very low 20% chance for rain today, 10% tomorrow because of all the moisture that is moving across the Louisiana border into Texas. And then more likely you can see raining more so in the Houston and Beaumont area. But for us in the Crossroads, you can see not really too much happening, and you can see that zoomed in on our area between 9 a.m. today all the way up until 3 or maybe 4 p.m. That's when we're going to see our 20% chance to maybe see a few showers, and if you see it, you can see it's going to be probably really light. talking maybe a few sprinkles. And in the background, if you don't see rain, it's actually going to be partly cloudy, not mostly cloudy. I'm thinking we're going to have like a stratus deck and also some cirrus above our heads. That's going to bring us a high of about 95 in Victoria this afternoon. Looking at your almanac, that's right where we should be. Average is 95, and same thing with the low temperatures. Record is 106, set back in 1932. It will feel that hot today with heat indices up to 107, so please stay hydrated. But like I said, high pressure will build, and we're going to see highs next week in the upper 90s and maybe more tropical activity. That's coming up next.
Victoria Generals there last night to face the Acadian Cane Cutters for All-Time Awareness Night out there at Riverside, and both teams kind of faced each other in a championship game there last season. And this game started off last night, had a lot of fireworks. Again, Caleb Cotton and Reese Lunsford helped the Generals get the bats going there early for the Generals. And again, currently right now, again, as we speak, we don't know, like I said, tomorrow if the Generals pull it off. As we look at the last I checked, they're up 8-4 right now there for the Generals right now going into the 8th inning. So hopefully by the time we get there tomorrow, it's a win there for the Generals. That again, they'll be back there later tonight though. Actually later today, pardon me, there for the Generals as they face the Cane Cutters. There will be at 7:05 p.m. there at Riverside. This is Max Williams, 25 News Now Sports.
Experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can stream our daily newscasts and much more using your connected TV. Just download Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV through Amazon Fire TV, Roku, Apple TV, Android TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. Overnight, a major victory for the president's spending cuts bill. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio is in Washington with the details.
The resolution is adopted.
Overnight, a major win for President Trump, the House voting 216 to 213 to pass President Trump's proposal to claw back already approved congressional funding. The measure would claw back $9 billion from the federal budget, including cuts to foreign aid like USAID and public broadcasting. House Speaker Mike Johnson saying he's delighted to send the package to President Trump's desk for his signature.
We're going to downsize the scope of government. Government is too large, it does too many things, and it does almost nothing well.
It comes less than 24 hours after the Senate voted to tweak the administration's original proposal. Senators Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski voting with Democrats against the bill.
I haven't been given the comfort, if you will, that we're not impacting maternal and child health, that we're not impacting HIV/AIDS, that we're not impacting nutrition programs and programs related to tuberculosis, malaria, polio, neglected tropical disease, pandemic prevention, family planning.
Democrats slamming some of the cuts in the bill.
This bill, make no mistake, Mr. Speaker, is a war on rural America. They are closing rural hospitals by virtue of the bill they passed 15 days ago, and now they will close rural radio stations.
Now, Republicans say the president will likely send more cutback requests to Congress soon. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
The new logo for Texas A&M University Victoria has been revealed. It was shown at a ceremony Thursday morning on campus. I spoke with students and the new chancellor about the new look. It may be a change of systems, but students in Victoria will still be able to continue proudly wearing their red and black colors and even keep their same mascot as UHV transforms into the Texas A&M University Victoria.
Being able to just continue to stick with those colors throughout my entire collegiate career, I mean, it feels good.
Earlier this spring, the Texas legislature voted to approve the transfer to the Texas A&M system, a movement that's been in the making for over a decade.
You know, I could tell years ago it really wasn't prime that it was going to switch from one campus to one university system to the next. The University of Houston system was not supportive of that. And so now that they have been, that makes it easier to where the legislature would make that transfer from one system to the next.
Lainey Glass, a senior majoring in accounting, says she's feeling good about the change.
My aunt actually graduated from A&M as an accountant, and she's a CFO now, so I have a lot of confidence in what they can do for me.
And now with the same colors and mascot, students and campus leaders are more confident that it will be a smooth transition. The time now, let's get a look at our clock up here at 6:46 on our Friday morning. Still to come on Sunrise, a young woman's journey from abuse and isolation to survival and strength. Time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to our strawberry queen over here, Aviana.
Aww.
Happy first birthday from Papa and Mimi. She's styling.
That's such a sweet picture. Happy birthday, Aviana. And also happy birthday to Richard and Armando. We're saying happy 7th birthday to the twins. Look at that. Love your sister, brother, mom, auntie, uncle, papa, and Grammy. We love y'all.
And happy birthday to Chloe. Happy 14th birthday, Chloe, from mom, dad, brothers, and sister, grandparents, and family. We love you so much.
Ooh, happy birthday, Chloe. And also happy birthday to Tony, a big longtime viewer of the show. Love you, Tony. Want to wish you a happy birthday and hope you have a fun day.
He says good morning every morning
He
to
does,
us.
always does.
And I am Groot. Happy birthday to the Fast and Furious star Vin Diesel, who turns 58 years young today.
Wow, Groot is only 58 years old. Didn't know that.
I am Groot.
And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, you can come to crossroadstoday.com, click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo. And we want to wish a very special birthday to someone that has worked with us before. His name is Kevlin. Also, Kiwi.
Kiwi.
We miss you so much, Kiwi, if you're watching this, man.
I wish you were DJing.
That's right.
At our luncheon today.
That's right.
All right, the time is now 6:47 on our Friday morning.
Friday.
It's Kiwi's birthday, and if it's yours too, happy birthday.
That's right. Happy birthday if you're celebrating this weekend. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads, and happy Friday. It's weekend time. Y'all get excited. Coming our way this weekend, it's going to start slowly heating up, and also our low rain chances, like I said. But next week is when we're going to actually really start heating up because high pressure will move close by. We'll look at that in a second. Something else that's coming our way next week. I haven't really talked about that this much this morning. I forgot to mention it, but here's what's going on. We have another plume of Saharan dust. Another one coming all the way across the Caribbean next week. It'll be here, I'm thinking, on Monday, sticking around one day on Tuesday before I'm thinking it clears out on Tuesday night. You can see it here Monday, and then it clears out sometime on Tuesday night. But we're still tracking the remnants of Tropical Invest 93L, which is, like I said earlier, it's already made landfall over Louisiana, and it's still dumping all sorts of rain all over the state. But why are we still looking at this? Well, it's important because we got high pressure. Like I said, it's going to build right over the eastern coast, maybe right over the Dixie Valley states of Mississippi, Bama, and Georgia. And why that's important is because the remnants of this this big old blob of moisture, it's forecasted to slingshot all the way around this high pressure system. Winds around high pressure are clockwise, and it's expected to, we're looking at a near repeat scenario of what we had this week. But for next week, between Wednesday through next Friday, we're going to have a very low confidence of another tropical system possibly forming. This one didn't form, obviously, and you can actually see that right here on the future temperatures map. Here's this high system dragging closer, bringing us to the upper 90s, and then here comes that maybe next tropical system right there. Boom. I'm going to look at all that more, though, later on Sunrise.
Domestic violence survivors in the Crossroads are breaking their silence, sharing painful past in hopes of helping others escape abuse. Our weekend anchor Amaya Norman is sharing how they broke free from the abuse in this 25 News Now Extra. And a warning, some of the images are graphic.
When I was in the hospital, I couldn't do it anymore. I wanted to go back home to my family and never see that man again.
Cody Pogue was only 17 years old when her boyfriend started abusing her. Cody says it started with control. He made her drop out of school and moved her away from her family.
I was 17 years old, and I was living in Victoria. He was my boss, he did groom me. That is how our relationship started.
A relationship that slowly turned from control, then isolation, then abuse.
He would sit there and, he would tell me that, my family didn't love me. I didn't have any friends, it was my fault that I was getting beat. I wasn't listening to him. Him not allowing me to work and not allowing me to have my own money. He didn't allow me to drive or anything like that. So I was, stuck under his thumb 24/7, basically.
On the night of May 7th, Her then boyfriend beat her so severely, she ended up in the hospital with broken bones and multiple wounds that are still healing, but it didn't break her resilience. Now 21, Cody is a survivor. She says the love from her family and friends helped her escape the abuse and take her life back.
I want more people to speak out about theirs. That way people who are going through this know that they are not alone and that they can get the help they need and the help that they deserve, that they don't need to be scared. There is people that care about them, there is people that love them, and there is people that will fight for them.
To see the full 25 News Now Extra, come to our website, crossroadstoday.com. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. Details on the president's health as the White House reveals a condition behind his swollen ankles. President Donald Trump has chronic venous insufficiency. That's according to the White House. The press secretary says that's why his ankles sometimes look swollen. Doctors say the condition isn't overly concerning, so long as it doesn't lead to or indicate more serious issues. The White House says Trump's medical team tested for those extensively and found nothing. Experts say Trump's age is a risk factor. The Trump administration has officially ended a suicide prevention lifeline option specifically designed to support LGBTQ+ youth. The Press 3 option on the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline connected callers to counselors trained to help LGBTQ+ youth. The specialized option launched in 2022. Since then, nearly 1.5 million people have used the sub-network. Critics say the shutdown puts vulnerable young people at risk. The FDA has approved the sale of Juul vapes years after trying to ban them. Thursday, the FDA approved the sale of Juul's e-cigarettes and its refill cartridges. The agency banned the products in 2022, but the ban was almost immediately suspended. Juul was initially accused of marketing the vapes to teenagers and children. The FDA now says Juul products can help adult cigarette smokers quit or use less harmful products. The city of Victoria is working to get the fountains at Riverside Park's Duck Pond flowing again. Officials say they're teaming up with the original installer, contractors, and the manufacturer to tackle some electrical issues. They're hoping for more progress after a meeting this week. As for the pond itself, it's in good shape. The city says the seasonal vegetation is normal for this time of year. And now let's get a look at that sunrise over Port Lavaca with Parker. How's it looking?
Well, this time it's not a super duper pretty one. This time we've got all sorts of tropical moisture that's streaming in over our heads. Look at that. You can see that on the camera. I think our skies are going to look mostly like this for the rest of today. Going to be between partly cloudy and mostly cloudy. I'm thinking maybe some point in the late afternoon we'll reach mostly sunny, but right now, see, it says it's sunny right now. That's what I'm saying. We have like a bunch of different kind of cloud decks over us right now. That's why it's thinking mostly sunny, but 82 right now in Port Lavaca to start out the day. Dew point, at the whopping 79 right now, bringing us high humidity. So make sure to apply some hairspray to combat the humidity, but also combat the humidity in the afternoon with some water bottles. Stay hydrated, y'all. We're looking for a high of 94 in Port Lavaca with heat indices up to maybe 107, so please stay careful and stay safe. Spotty showers possible on the coast in the morning time, more likely all the way up through the afternoon time in the inland counties, including Victoria. 95 for the high today, 90 at noontime, and about the same thing for all that in Cuero as well, 95 and 90 at noon. But if that's not hot enough for y'all, this is average where we're supposed to be this time of year. Well, we're going to heat up even more. We're going to be above average heat next week, highs in the upper 90s, maybe even flirting with 100. Hazy skies with Sahara dust and watching the tropics again.
All right, it is hurricane season. Be sure to come by our TV station to pick up your magnet, and be sure to join us for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. Have a great start to your weekend.
That's right.